If you're selling on eBay, you know that having good inventory is key into growing your business. But did you know your inventory that you think could be listed might not actually be for sale on eBay? That's right, the products that you sell on eBay sometimes drop off, mysteriously vanish, never to be seen again. Well, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to find those missing items and do a stock take on all of your items. Now, the first step of managing your inventory effectively is having a SKU system in place. You can see behind me, all of these totes have numbers on, and those numbers represent all the products that are in that tote. On eBay, in the custom SKU section, I can enter that number so that when an item sells, I can go to the number that it's sold from and quickly find it. If you've not got an inventory management system, you're going to have stock on random shelves everywhere, and it's going to slow down your process every time you sell something because you're going to be looking and wondering where it is. So if you've not got a SKU system, start it now. The best time to start something was yesterday. The second best time is today. Set the new year up right with an inventory system using the SKU field on eBay. Now, if you do have a SKU system in place, it means doing a stock check is easy. It's a bit boring, but it's easy. And in today's video, I'm going to run a stock check on my shop and see how many items are currently not listed that I thought were listed. Now, I do know there's going to be a few games that are in these totes that are not listed, but I know why they are in there. There's a few games like this FIFA 20 on the Xbox One and these other games on the Xbox One here, which are just not worth that much money, which when I had someone in who was helping out doing listings, they took a load of pictures, put them in the totes, and then we realized that they were only £2 games and not worth selling on their own. So they've just sat in there for a month or two. Just because I've not had enough time to process them and get them out. But this stock take will bring all of those to light. So I'm not going to include any of them in the final total on how much money I was missing out on, but I will show you at the end how many items that I found from my shop that I thought were listed that haven't been. So the first thing that you'll need to do to start your stock take is head over to your eBay dashboard. Once you're on your seller hub, you want to go to reports and then downloads. On downloads, you want to go to download report. And this is where we can select the source type of report that we're looking for, which is going to be listings. And then we want to go all active listings and then click download. This is going to get us an Excel document with all of our current active listings. Once you've got that, open it up in your preferred way of looking at Excel documents. For me, that's going to be on Google Sheets. So I'm over on the computer and I've opened up that report on Google Docs, on Sheets for me specifically. What I'm going to do at first is highlight the top column and then create a sort and filter. This will enable me to sort all of these items in numerical order based on the SKU that they're in. So I've got this custom label SKU drop down here and I'm going to sort that A to Z. And you can see that all of the items have now ordered themselves in the SKU order that I've got, which means I can print this off and go through box by box and check each box to make sure all of those products are in there. Now I'm going to delete a few of the bits of information off of here just so that when I'm looking at it on a bit of paper, it's not too overwhelming with lots of numbers that aren't really relevant. So I've deleted the item ID, I'm going to delete the variation, I'm going to keep the custom SKU, that's obviously very important. I'm going to keep the available quantity because if it's a multi-quantity listing, I want to know how many are there. And then everything after this is basically irrelevant. You just want to know where is the item and how many of them do you have versus what's there. So I'm going to print this out. Alternatively, you could use this on a computer, you could use this on a tablet and go through it as you go along. But for me, I like printing them out and then manually ticking them as I go through them. Put any of the dusting in. Should I be alarmed? There's steam coming off my printer. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I think it's where the paper probably gets damp and it goes through the hot rollers and the steam comes off of it. I'm going to stop. No more printing today. Oh, last page. But I have my 16 pages of items. So you can see that we've got a remote in SKU number 1 and I should have one of them. So what I can do is go and get number 1, put it out on the table and start looking through. So let's grab this and make sure everything is in here. So I'm looking for a Samsung Smart Remote to start off with. One Samsung Smart Remote. Tick. Next up, Xena Warrior Princess, which is, I believe, yep, there. Tick. Next up we have Max Factory Figma Bruce Lee. That's that figure here, this Bruce Lee figure. Oh, with the glare on it. Tick. Kingdom Hearts. That's this nice GBA game. Very fresh, minty. Quite expensive. Should probably get a box protector for it. But that is tick. Knight's Move, Christopher Lambert. One of these big box VHS. Knight's Move. Yep. Mortal Thoughts Big Box X Rental. Yep. Nicolas Cage, which is that one there. You can see his face. And that's it for number one. This job lot of vintage records I've just written on the box number one. They're somewhere else. But now what I would do is I would check to see if there's anything else in here that shouldn't be in here. So all of these items are accounted for. Now, if there was another item in there, obviously that isn't listed on my shop. So I'd need to take that out and try and figure out if it's listed somewhere else or if it's not listed at all. But that's the process. Do it box by box. You can see there's 7-ish items in that one box that I can go through. Instead of having to go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of items on racks to try and find one specific product, I can just do it one tote at a time. And it will take a bit of time to go through everything. As you can see, I've got 124 totes to go through. But once it's all done, I'll know exactly where my inventory's at. Well, that didn't take long. I've already found the first culprits. We're at box number 5. So, you know, only 4 after the last one that you saw. And we've already got a load of items that are currently no longer listed. Now, this box is meant to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items in. These are in, these are in, cameras are in, this VHS is in. These 2 pairs, they're not in. This pack of playing cards, not in. This Goonies pack of playing cards, not in. These DVDs, not in. So far, that is 10, 9, I can add 9 items missing from my inventory that I did not know about. Now, some of those items were purchased in March, April time. The playing cards, the pairs, they came in a big Disney buyout that I did when I moved into this warehouse. So they have sat here for 8 months and obviously haven't sold, but not had the ability to sell because they've not been listed. So that's awful. I do need to double check that they're not currently listed anywhere else. So what I'll do is I will look at the end of this report where it's got the list of products that don't have a SKU. Alternatively, I will search the product names in eBay to see if they're meant to be in a different SKU, but that's money that I've missed out on. And part of the new year, new me, is to be more responsible with my stock, both in incoming stock to list and outgoing stock that's being sold. So part of that will be every quarter doing a stock check. So every 3 months doing one of these stock checks. So worst case scenario, it's only 3 months that it's not listed for. Obviously that's not great, but it's definitely not 8 months. But it'll be interesting to see how much more we've got to find throughout this process. Shockingly, box number 7 has got another issue, but this one isn't stock that's in here that's not listed. It's the other way around. So on my sheet, I should have a Minecraft story mode on the Xbox 360. Let me know if you can see Minecraft story mode on the Xbox 360 in there. It's not in there, which obviously means somehow it has sold and not come off the shop, or maybe I had 2 of them, one of them sold, or maybe I listed 2 of them, one of them has sold, but I only have had 1 in the first place. If you've got employees, hopefully not, but maybe there's a 5-finger discount going on. I can't think that I've taken it out of this tote to put with a bundle or to fulfill another order. So the only other potential is that it's in another tote that I'm not 100% sure on which one. But obviously I might find it as I start going through the rest of them. But that is concerning. Hopefully there's not any other products that I have listed that aren't currently available, because that could cause a lot more issues than just losing out on money. Obviously a customer could buy that and then I'm not able to fulfill it, which means I need to then cancel the order, which then impacts my account. I could then get a negative feedback for it, all for just not having a game available that should be available to buy. So that's quite concerning, but that's why we're doing it. Now, the other benefit, besides finding more stock, like this lot of WWE DVDs that is not listed, is you'll be able to find inventory that you've been sat on a while that you might have forgotten about. And it might prompt you to maybe relist or reduce prices of products that you might not have done just looking at the computer. A prime example of that is this Disney statue. It's one of the collector's editions. But again, I picked it up in March, April time. Christmas is gone. I would have thought it would have sold like the rest of them have. But it's a fantastic product that I can't open with just one hand. There we go. Look at that. It's a beautiful product. Nice collectible. Been sat on it a while. Maybe I should look at that and go, how much did I pay for it again? Perhaps it's time for me to reduce it and just get my money back, or significantly less of a profit than I was expecting, because it has just sat there and not sold. Obviously it's a collector's item, so it will take a little bit of time to sell, but all the other ones that I got from this lot have sold, so a little bit concerning. So I've gone through, pulled out every single item that I couldn't find. But before I start listing all of these products and work out how much money I've dropped off of my shop, I need to see if they are actually listed but just didn't have a SKU. So on the last page of the document, there will be all of the products that do not have a SKU in this column here. So I've gone through them all and found them that were on this table and then put them into a box that is SKU'd up. A couple more bits here as well, but these are all now SKU'd up, which means everything here on this table was in my listed stock boxes, but not actually for sale, meaning it was never going to sell unless I did this process. So just to give you an idea on how much value is on this table, I'm going to take you through all of the items one by one and just give you a rough estimate on what I believe I should list it for, which will then work out exactly how much money eBay have potentially cost me by not relisting or listing this stock in the first place. So over here we've got a few Sharp parts. These are only a £5 each, but there's 3 of them, that's 15. A brand new pair, or maybe not new, but a very good condition pair of rubbish brand shoes. That's got to be 20 quid. Stack of WWE, WWF DVDs. There's got to be 10, 15 quid there. This Xerox part is a paper preheater. I'm going to put 50 quid value on that. A lot of the Xerox parts that I've found have been very, very high in price. Some have been up to a couple of £100 quid, so you never know. That game's a £5. Same with that. Same with that. Wii Sports close to a tenner. Farming Simulator a £5. The controller's 20 quid. These are only going to be a £5 each. I'm not sure on the Goodmans, but let's say a tenner. The Lego's at least a tenner. There's a nice Bowls carry bag there, which is going to be 10, 15 quid. These Pez's are only cheap ones. They're going to be a £5 each. Same with these cards. DVDs are only going to be a couple of quid each. This Toshiba is like a £30 unit. The Rawlings gloves, these are at least going to be 10 to 20 quid each. A cheap calculator, which is only going to be a £5. A laptop, which is probably 20 or so quid. And these stack of games, I knew these ones were in the tote, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. I'm not going to count them in the value because I knew that these were not listed. I just needed to pull them out and work through them. But there is, you know, some decent value there in terms of the titles, but I believe a lot of them are too scratched or not worth it to sell. But all of these items I can now list back up on the shop and make sure it never happens again. So going forward for me, what's my take on this? Well, every 3 months at the beginning of a new quarter, I'm going to do a stock take to see exactly how much inventory has dropped off. The majority of the stuff that's on that table is older stock. I don't think any of it I've listed within the last 3 months. So if I'm on top of it every 3 months, it means hopefully there's only going to be 1 or 2 items maybe every quarter that drop off. And it just means that the money keeps flowing, products keep selling, and I'm not occupying valuable space in totes of products that haven't even got the opportunity to sell. But if you did enjoy today's video, I know it's been a slightly different one, more of an educational one, rather than the what to buy and what to sell. It's more of the boring business stuff behind the scenes. But if you did enjoy it nonetheless, click that subscribe button, and I wish you all a happy new year 2025. Here we come.